Connecticut. You're on the Wilkow Majority. Hello.
Hey, how you doing?
Fine. How are you?
Good, thanks. I wanted to know if you are as outraged at people who own land and control land as you are at Obama and the people at the G20.
Why would I be outraged if somebody legally, fairly acquired private property? On what basis would I be outraged at them?
The same basis as you're mad at people for trying to own air. Air and land aren't man-made, and
But if you have a recognized chartered township, county, state, federal government, and land is acquired legally.
Well, that's what they're trying to do with the air. They're trying to make it the same. Land wasn't always deeded out to people, right? At some point, it was made available to people to purchase.
Yeah.
What's the difference? Or, I mean, if your outrage is the same at
because I can touch land, you can't touch the air. You can't ball your hands together and make a ball of air and put it into a jar and seal it and say, that's my air. And then sell it to somebody else. I can't work to buy air. I can't acquire air and hold on to it. It's a phony commodity.
Okay.
So were you? Did your parents own a? Did your parents own a house in? Did you grow up in Connecticut?
Yes.
Did your parents own a house?
Yes.
So you think it would be proper for the government to come in and say, okay, Derek's parents, this isn't your house anymore because now we own the structure and we own the land.
No, but nobody owns this air before. Like, nobody owned the land before the people who first, however they decided to zone out the land that my parents bought the house on.
So you wouldn't mind if you wouldn't mind if we started with your parents' house and the property that it sits on. It wouldn't be their property anymore. As a matter of fact, I could just kick in your door. I could just kick in your door and take whatever I want because it's not really yours.
The land is? Yes, it is.
No, it's not. You just said no, it's not. I'm outraged at your parents for owning land.
At one point, it wasn't. It was not always someone's land. It wasn't always owned by a person, is what I'm saying. At one point,
the sovereignty of a nation allows for the purchase of property. You can't, right. If you buy a house in Connecticut, you don't own a house in Colorado, and you certainly don't own one in France. So for the United Nations to say they now own the air above the in and around the United States, to which they're
so the air should be owned, but by separate countries. So
you can't own air. It's all the grass that you mow is on your property. Okay, your lawnmower ends at your neighbor's property. Air flows all around.
Right. I agree with you.
But what the UN is saying is now that they'll come in and seize the property that your parents' house is on, turn that into property now owned by someone else, and if you want it, you have to buy it back.
Oh, I thought you were saying the air. That's what I was talking about.
No, they're saying the air is now owned by the UN and distributed in ownership to who they desire to redistribute the wealth to. Thank you very much for the call. Completely lost. 1-866-95-PATRIOT. We'll get the rest of the calls next. This is the Wilkow Majority, Sirius XM Patriot.